All right, everybody, let's get to it for Thursday. Yes, we have Mitch Ray, TA, coming on. Mitch has been all over these markets. Great to be back with him at a very timely spot. Check out Bitcoin today. Looks like it's, that one day kiss the all-time high. It was, it just was like a stop run, flash, nothing. I expect that thing. Who knows? Maybe this turns into a pump stream. We'll see. Great to see everybody. Speaking of seeing, welcome back. How's everyone doing? 2 days later, and a few free internet dollars richer, hopefully. What's up, Sheed? R. Lake, EJ Mack, Rogelio, Neil, Zeke, Grow Green, Justin, everyone else. What's going on? What do you think about this Bitcoin, huh? Where are the measurements? We talked about 886s, 113s, all of that. Now, what are we going to go to? Because right now, you're taking out the 886 was here. 10 is, we know where that is, and it's like Nvidia. I mean, Bitcoin's as strong as Nvidia. It seems like it. Absolutely. Hey, Mom's in the house. What's up, Mom? How you feeling today? Great to see you. Everyone, including Mom, get on over to harmonictrader.com, become a free member, free basic member. All right, and then get your free 2-week trial to the software that we review today. Work with every session. HPC Lite. It's really HPC heavy because this thing is just incredible. HPC at sr-analyst.com. That's where you want to go. Get with that. Everybody else, you that knows the deal, become a basic member. Everything is here, all your resources. New people, you just log in, and once you're in, I ask you to go to the basic members page and just get up to speed with all the resources, the books, the videos, before it's too late, before this crypto cycle's over, and then you're waiting 3 more years, right? A lot to get to. Mitch Ray coming in about 10 minutes. Queuing Mitch. Mitch probably just ended a stream, at this point. Let's just do a quick top 5 and we'll get Mitch in here. The amazing thing is, folks, that, not only that Bitcoin keeps going up, but every shot down, everyone gets bought up, and it gets bought up even faster. And that's just, for me, a sign of what's about to happen, especially where you are at the really all-time high, cracking price discovery. That's what you want to see. Ethereum, it's doing the same thing. It's doing the same thing, folks. I'm really impressed with what's happening because you look at charts like Ethereum, and really since the daily signal all the way back at 2200, it's just pure fire. And so where does that go? Because it's acting the way it should in the CD leg of a BAM bat action magnet move phenomenon. So ever since that B point triggers, you take it out, and then you go straight to the 886. Bam, bat action magnet move. It's in Harmonic Trading Volume 2. And it happens. You get that W formation. That's bam all over the place. 886, 4,500 for Ethereum. You still have 700 to go. Ethereum's, just getting started. What if Ethereum is just getting started? I want you to think about that relative to Bitcoin, because we're seeing the catch up. We're definitely seeing the catch up. And then if Ethereum, remember what we said about 1618s, cycle 1618s, we're 886, and then we're 1618. So it's either 4,500 or 7,500 on Ethereum. And the incredible thing is that the halving is still like 4 weeks away. A couple more. Before I bring Mitch in, I have to address one or two ideas that we have presented from the beginning that might be some of the greatest harmonic pattern real-time examples ever presented. Fetch AI. Who's with me? Who's with me? Fetch AI. Remember? I think it's a type 2 at like 18 cents. Remember? Remember these little dinky patterns down here? That's what's possible. Fetch AI. Go back to our sessions from September, October, November. And they played out. And we were thinking like 80 cents. I was thinking like 85 cents. Where's my big pattern? There it is. 83. Folks, the whole concept of patterns looking left is right here. It's right here. All right, just because your favorite crypto hasn't popped off yet, no reason to get all salty and go cry that you haven't caught a Fetch AI. You're not supposed to catch every one. And a nice basket of crypto, things like this with patterns looking left. exemplify why we do this. So, how high can fetch go? Have we seen it before? Sure, we've seen patterns pop off like fetch. Prior cycles, this is why we do the levels. Tell me about the 886, annihilated. Tell me about the 1618, annihilated. What about even a 20 when I annihilate? It's all annihilated. So, what's she doing? 314, most likely. That gets you 395, $4. That's where we are. Welcome to the show. Great to see everybody, really. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscriber chat, like and subscription button. We're here Tuesday, Thursday. And let's get Mitch. Let me go tap Mitch on the shoulder, see if he's ready. Okay. And I have to double check, make sure we're all good. And we'll get into the rest of these. But, it's pretty amazing times. And I really, back in October or November, I said, we got to hurry up. We got to be positioned by Thanksgiving. And you see why. You see why. All right. So it's absolutely astounding. A great place. I'm going to get Mitch here in a minute. 1 second. That we should look at is like the broad overview. Total crypto market. This is another reason, okay? And another way to gauge what's really going on. How high is this going to go? Is it going to do it now, or are we going to pause anywhere in between? Because the only thing left now are 886. And that's still higher, 2.75, 2.8 trillion. And that's just to complete the recovery, price recovery example. So it's definitely on. And the last chart, total 3. Total 3. That is your S coin, T coin combo without Bitcoin, Ethereum quality, your scrub crypto, total 3. All right. Watch this because, it's overbought at the moment, but it keeps expanding. And I said this last time, 850 billion, not a crazy number. So, welcome. I think this is what we all thought would happen after the halving, but now it's on. It's on now. So if you weren't ready, you have to get ready and get to it. Let me dial Mitch in. 1 second. Hey, 1 second. Let me get you in there. Okay.
Hold on a sec.
You're good.
You might be able to hear me, but I can't hear you. Don't know why.
Can you hear me now? Hold on.
Got you. All right. Yeah, my setting was changed.
Okay, great.
Hey,
Good man. What's up? You have put in a number of hours since the last time we have spoke.
yeah, and assets have appreciated in value substantially too since then.
I just amazing. I was just saying that faster than I think any of us really thought. Just and so that can portend of even bigger things to come. Everybody, hype in the chat for Mitch, please. Yeah, really, big hype for Mitch, and I just want to take a second and I want to thank Mitch personally and on air. I've thanked him personally. I think Mitch is a huge force in what's happening with harmonic patterns. He's doing it the right way. He brings it with a level of professionalism where for me to see this happen the way that's happening and reach the number of people that it's happening, it's definitely reaching more people than ever on this cycle. Just a big thanks to Mitch and for what you do because, it was harmonic patterns were riddled for years with a lot of scammers and stuff. But now we've gone through at least two cycles. This is our second cycle, I would say, together. We really met last cycle.
Hmm.
But when you're doing it right and you put it in front of you, Mitch is just delivering the sauce every week, and so thank you, man. I really, I'm it just this is like I'm kind of like a proud daddy to see this thing blossom, and people get emails. People are telling me, hey, I'm catching patterns. Thanks so much because, I made X amount of money because of the patterns. And so it's a great thing. And Mitch was also the inspiration for me to get, kind of get back out here with the YouTube. I've said that many times, but, really, thank you, Mitch. So everybody give Mitch a round of applause, seriously, for everything he does. He gives you guys just incredible effort and energy every night. So so many people have benefited from this, and it's awesome to see, man, because it's right on. Everything's playing out like right on the framework.
Yeah, it's like life changing too. I mean, I can't imagine like if people just listened. Like, look, I mean, I appreciate the kind words, but without the source material and the education, like I learned from your books, and from obviously, like I use other frameworks too. I combined your framework with others to make it like one thing. But like without that, you know, the authors and the publications and the research and energy put in by you and many others, then I have nothing to go by, and I'm just kind of like blind. But yeah, look at harmonic patterns and technical indicators and oscillators. They're just forms of compasses. We are in the ocean, sailing. We don't really know where we're going, but those all those indicators, the congregation, those variables, they kind of point us in the right direction, increase our probability of a particular outcome marginally. Marginally is the word. It's not certain, and that's the best you can go by if you're in the ocean, in the sea of the waves up and down, and the harmonics are five different waves, or there's one wave, two waves, three waves, pretty much four waves, right? Two big ones, two small ones, and somehow the phenomenon at the bottom of that last one, you get the confirmation and then go time. And it's just been freakishly accurate this cycle with so many that have like Uniswap was the holy grail. Like that was literally verbatim what I said when I published that trade setup on Uniswap November 2nd, 2023. And now this asset is broken out and it's heading to the golden zone. It's major all-time high golden zone. Hasn't even gotten there yet. But like from that entry, that asset from its low to its high up 292%. I mean, you can't even make it up. So it's just harmonics are like for real one of the most reliable structural developments that occur in technical analysis. Especially I mean, if the context is right. Sometimes harmonics can develop in random spots and they can play out, but when you see them at the end of a cycle, a boom and a bust, and a 98%, 88% retrace, and then 300 to 500 days of development, that's when you give it the next 6 months to a year, and the assets will probably be much higher. The cycle's completely reversing. So I call it cycle reversing, not just trend reversing, right? Because I think crypto's pretty cyclical at this point with the booms and the busts.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it really doesn't matter because if it's self-fulfilling or not. You go with it as a trader because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you stack the dollars. It doesn't matter. And it's so funny because I still hear some traditional finance guys like Fufu, Bitcoin, and crypto. And I'm like,
Who is
cool.
that?
Older boomer style people that I know where
Uh,
they're just, they don't understand, or they think phenomenon's the crypto thing is there's zero use case, or what? It's just people not
who cares?
in the know.
That's the wrong,
Exactly.
dude. That's the wrong mentality. These are financial instruments to enrich us. That's it. We pump them, we dump them. We construct a trading plan. We enter. We have a tight stop loss, and then we layer out, and then we exit, and then that's it. Then we wait however long it takes for that new structure development to occur, normally it takes a very long time. Like especially if you want like the high probability M shapes at 886s to develop, I talk about it as like the comet, once every 25 years, that comet will come around. It's the same thing with some of these harmonics.
Yeah, no doubt. No, it's an older crowd, and it does show you that really as much as we're all together and we get together on a regular basis and you communicate with people on crypto, look, the investment community is just now starting to get their feet wet in space. So I think it's ironic that people rationalize. I don't know, just try to rationalize traditional finance around this space, but more and more it is getting to be like the dot com bubble, late '90s, in terms of the talk, the vibe, the real kind of thrill of the mania, if you will. And we're nowhere near even that blow off move. I mean, I think maybe we started it, but there's a lot of similarities going on. I mean, with this and the major markets, where
Yeah, Nvidia.
yeah, yeah, Nvidia up every day now at the up above 900.
Yeah,
Um,
it's going 1,000. Like that's psychological. Yeah,
Absolutely, 916. Look at that
it's
move.
freakish, man. But I'll tell you this: G Soul is giving it a run for its money. I remember the last time I was on this live stream, we talked about G Soul before it did any of the moves it's doing right now, and it's pulling a freaking
I
straight up
I
Nvidia.
saw that, and this is I wanted to talk specifically about you. Mitch brought this up. Did you get any of this?
Heck yeah, man! My IRA is like over doubled in value, and it's like in like a month.
This is like the one I didn't grab. Thought I was a little late when that thing had already popped the 886, but there you go. And I do think this is something I've thought about this as been a deer in headlights the last 2 weeks. That I think these ETF things for crypto are there might be something going on here, and I want to just throw this
There
out to
was
you.
something going on. That was the discussion last time. It was
No,
like
but
something's happening.
I think there's a obviously an imbalance here, but I think there's a possibility where maybe these ETFs, and you and we talked about it last time, and been all over it with like the stuff like ETCG, where these are massive charts that if there's a price spike, and there is a price spike happening, but I get the sense that these are under owned in terms of, even if the price appreciates, where what if these guys don't have enough behind the ETF, and they're going to have to come in, and as this thing breaks out, it does become like self-reinforcing, because they drive this up, they drive the spot price up. You're breaking out of obvious resistance levels, things that might not show up on the spot chart. We saw that in GBTC with the massive Gartley, and you now see that. Like, this is, even if you go static prior resistance, I mean, ETCG's got all of this
Yep. Oh, I
45.
think it's just, I mean, it's just a cycle, man. It's like, yeah, the boom and the bust, right? The composite man exits with a blow off top, and then the cycle reverses and it goes into a bear trend for 2 years, 1.5 years, and then goes to no trend. And then the same composite operator sold up there to the stupid money during the stupid cycle. It starts reaccumulating. You can see it. There's evidence of his reaccumulation or of just his accumulation campaign, his buying campaign. And now he's gotten to a point where he's got his complete fill of his shares, and you're about to go into that acceleration when there's no more supply. There's no more general consensus areas until much higher levels on ETCG. LTCN is another one that you're approaching a couple more resistances between $20 $25. But guess what? Above $25 is $100,
Yeah,
literally. You go to
BCGH
LTCN and
too.
see it, how stupid it is. Yeah,
BC
ETCG is great. LTCN, BC SH,
HG.
or it's HG. What is it?
BCHG is the Bitcoin Cash.
Oh, I'm thinking of Zcash though. There's
Oh,
another one.
that
It's
that one
yeah. It's like
that one's an even
that's
better
crazy,
base.
dude. They're nuts, man.
This is
We should look at all these because
Yeah.
they're just
Here's
wow.
Zcash. Yeah, and we know Zcash has got
Freak.
massive patterns at $20. Like, it's that bottom is sealed. So with this kind of a thing. This is one I did catch. So I started buying that around 380, and there's patterns down there. And look, and there's just all price recovery range. Like, just get it going. There you go. It was this. Check that out. It was a bat pattern right at the low, 389 hop level, and third 1051 minimum target one off the pattern alone, maybe 13. I don't.
Well, whatever that next overhead resistance is, it's so simple. Like that's what the beauty. Sometimes we'll look at like I hate looking at silver because there are too many peaks from history. Like there's just far too many. Like it's reversed at every dollar ever, right? Like at some point in the past 20 years. Terrible chart. But if you're looking at something like this, it's like a no-brainer, right? Where they're straight up, they're straight down, they're straight up, straight down. That's it. And it's like a couple levels. That's all you have. That's what I love about these altcoins. When they got obliterated, man, it was in that straight up, straight down situation, and now like H bar and File and others are breaking dot FTM. They are breaking these last levels until there's 50 to 100% upside before anything makes sense technically. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I love about these grayscale trusts. It's the same situation. Like they're just a couple resistances away before they just blow up again like they did in 2020, 2021. You got to tell me like conditions are better than they were back then even because of all this ETF. Wall Street's now on board. Like it's not there's no more stigma involved.
Yeah. And technically, you were to look at that, if it was at any chart, you look at that with, just marveling at that massive first breakout thrust. That's a super base. I don't know if you ever heard of David Ryan, Bill O'Neill. Probably you've heard of Investors Business Daily. Um,
Hmm.
they did a book they called it the super bases, and it was basically this guy David Ryan just identified those stocks that were in 5, 10 year base super bases, and they came to prominence in the early 80s, and they were buying a lot of things that were depressed in the 70s. That's why it worked. But these kind of bases at least yield minimum price recovery bounces, 382s, 50s. That if we can kind of get a good probability that, hey, we're in at least a price recovery bounce. I mean, let's just be as conservative as possible. Where are those 382s? And then, you stack it as you go, where Zcash here, it's up, it's doubled, but first targets are not, they're more like $9 or even $10. So you stay in it till it gets there and then explodes right through. And that's what's been happening even with a lot of the crypto, riding certain crypto to targets, and then they just like fetch AI, just explode through your best hopes.
Yeah. It's pretty simple stuff, It's not anyone can grasp these concepts and so it's like anyone. I mean, you're working a 9 to 5 job. I know you get home and you get tired from the long day of work and stuff, but you know how it worked out for me is like I lived that career life for 7 8 years. I had a very successful career, and when I got home from work, I mean, all I was and sometimes during work, all I was doing was trying to study traditional technical analysis, like books, any information I could find online. I was just doing everything I could. So you can do that too if you're watching and you're newer to this world. It just takes effort and time and definitely some passion and aptitude. So, um, but at some point it'll start clicking very, very easily. And you'll just say, oh my God, like you just start seeing markets differently. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
there's a,
I'm like,
I pulled up Phantom on the screen. That was one of the ones you mentioned.
yeah,
Yeah,
FTN,
that's
dude. It was like
another one.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so
It was that dragon pattern. It restarted with the dragon pattern, and now it's just blown up. Yeah, just breaking that resistance.
and a lot of these are getting to the point where you looks like it's moved a huge amount on the daily, but then you kick it to say the
Scale out.
weekly,
Yep.
yeah, and now you're out of the hole, um, just with a matter of time. Like ride this
Well,
into.
it's
Go
It's
ahead.
soon approaching an 88 to 96 cent level now. Like that's going to be an inflection point, a 23% retrace. So it's finally gonna see the most shallow retrace
There you go.
imaginable. You now have like valid Fibonacci technically from the high to low. But yeah, that's where a short-term reaction could occur. If you were blessed enough to get a pullback, you would just look for some sort of consolidation phase where you can maybe manage your risk appropriately before they run it again. And eventually, I think I'm not sure how long it's going to take because there could be a tremendous amount of supply at 96 cents where that overhead 88 to 96 cents were February and May of 2021. You can see those overhead resistances. So, eventually they're going to absorb that supply. There will be no more supply at that level. And so the price will continue to run to like a huge mark of 165 to 188, 194. And that's going to take you to a 50% retrace from the all time high to low. So, yeah, I think starting to get pretty insane because FTM was like actionable, reasonable for a long. I mean, around 39-40 cents, and
Yeah.
now it's doubled, dude. It's literally doubled in price in literally 11 days. I mean, that is. But there was a dragon pattern. There was a premature, W shape that set up for this, and that's when it was time to long, when you're consolidating. But now we're impulsing, so there's nothing you can really do outside of taking profit on the way up. So, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Same with Filecoin.
Yeah, let's look at that because those are Filecoin, Internet Computer. Boy, they seem to be it's just a matter of time. Because Filecoin now at the top of recent resistance, but we've got a crab pattern off of the last ditch down where, classic long basing pattern. And it just basically put in a floor at $4. Now out of here, getting out of the zone above 9. First stop 1368, at least measured off of the crab. And I just think this is like a similar to a lot of these that once they bust out and they get going. We saw that with AI. I think we're seeing it in gaming now. That it can fly, and then you you go to that total history because it seems like a lot currently, 3 to 10 almost, but then you're going back and you say, all right, well, what about this crazy range of 240 or even higher? And
On a file?
yeah, file. I mean, I just think you can do for across the board with a lot of these, especially top 100 crypto. Look at every one. 236 is a good number. A
That's so
weekly
crazy, man. File
236.
was that much money.
Yeah, but that's still, if file does a 236, that's $60. I like the
Yep.
382 as a minimum. That
You know
make
what's crazy?
close to
You
100.
say like 230 or whatever, like $230 or something, and then like you could have also contextually said $230. You don't know, like so you have to be specific because Filecoin's been $230. It's also been pretty much $2.30. Like at the bottom, it's just so insane.
Yeah. 230 at the high, 230 at the low, most likely. A
Yeah,
T coin, 99%, uh, a pullback, and then just um, that one, and then the other was Internet Computer, where these just seem to be kind of poking, just a matter of time before they do something like a Solana, where you go from 10 to 100 type of thing in a recovery move. And that's not out of the question. Did you get any of that green Satoshi coin? Uh-oh. Did I lose Mitch?
Sorry, my mic was
It's
muted. No, yeah. So sorry, sold. Yeah, sold to 200. Easy. That's the next target. It's breaking an overhead resistance from April 2022 today of 12%. But again, there's nothing really majorly there till
look at that.
$200. So you're looking at what does Satoshi Green coin again? What's the ticker? I can't.
GSTUSD, Green Satoshi coin.
GST.
I actually
Oh,
caught that.
wow.
I was talking to
Oh,
my
it's on
folks. I got
Coinbase.
angry about that
Oh, wow.
at myself.
What an ass coin.
Yeah,
What exchange do you look at
it was
normally?
Coinbase.
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty bad. It was like not something I look at and I'm like, it didn't really have any sort of edge, no technical
Well, I
indicators
got to
that
show you
I
the
saw.
chart. No, no, no.
Maybe like a butterfly or a crab pattern, maybe.
It
That's all you
was
had.
no. I had a Gartley. I'll send it over on the Discord so
Oh
you can
yeah,
see it.
maybe.
It was so. This is the thing also where I've probably been foo-fooing some things a little too much, especially meme coins. That it was actually perfect. Look at that on your Discord and you get a shot.
Oh
Um,
wow,
it was, and it's
Jesus.
daily. I mean, it's loco, but we're here,
Looks
so
weird. How
um,
did I guess you anchor there? Good God, it's like a yeah, 58, 61%. Lower high on C. Wow, it really effing was. That's unreal.
yeah,
That's crazy. It looks weird. Like sometimes you've seen enough. I've seen enough of these where it's like you can eyeball it, and sometimes it looks good, sometimes not. But I wouldn't have really looked at this with my naked eye and been like, "Wow, that's it." But it really was. It was freaking nice, man. Just before moon. That's wow.
yeah, yeah. It was really it was silly, but
And I'm sure people in our communities were talking about it too. It's just there's 18,000, there's probably 30,000 S coins now that exist. It's just hard to keep up with all of them.
yeah, there's
But I would have
crazy
preferred,
stuff.
maybe, I don't know, because, like the Garley completed at 1.1 cents could have been that low from June 14th of 2023. Yeah, it was okay,
Yeah,
but that's an incredible move, lotto move.
one of the things with the Gartley and kind of what we learned with the algos, is that the ABCD is, as a minimum, is even more critical in this structure because the Gartley is, in my opinion, it's a special type of ABCD continuation. But if you have that minimum where you have the one-to-one, and that's one of the preferences we list in the algos, that the ABCD point, especially if 786 is hit, is that's an action number. And there are a few others I've seen, maybe things that, well, here's something I posted like a day or two ago. It's this DYM. Oh, good. I got some movement here. Relatively new, but it was a crab pattern, deep crab. Um, really nice type too. This is relatively new to the exchanges. And it's something I'm looking at where if we get some new listings, and they're always going to have that initial pump and then dump, getting some nice patterns on these, like this is I think a prime example where let it sell off first, and then this is, done an ideal deep crab right off the top. That's a 4-hour chart. Um, so I still think, despite a lot of the things that have mooned already, there's still opportunities unfolding. Um,
Yeah, I
uh,
just sent you one in a DM.
Let me see what you got.
I remember
Unibot.
ridiculous.
How's that different from Uniswap?
Uh, Uniswap is it? It's like it hasn't played out yet. Uniswap has gone up 200, 300% since this
No,
bottom.
but it's not related to Uniswap,
Oh,
is
I
it?
have no idea. I don't give a crap. All I'm looking at is like the structure and like the
Yeah.
candles and the composite man painting this beautiful picture here. It's ridiculous. That's like, okay, see at 150, $200. What is it,
Oh,
$70 though?
nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. Holy smokes. What are we doing here?
It's like all this accumulation, like like that harmonic's completing at the support. It's above the newly painted 200-day moving average. It's beautiful. It's like KNC, too. KNC is similar like that.
We should look at some things. Crypto that has yet to move, KNC. There you are.
KNC, big
Oh,
time has to be looked at today.
look at that. You know what? That might be one of the top candidates for crypto yet to move. KNC.
Yep,
What a
it
beautiful
is.
specimen that is. And you know what? beautiful about that, you're back to back, and this is something where you're starting to see this play out with a lot of these that had the back to back. They're now busting the ranges where this is just starting.
Yep. I mean,
Oh
you're talking
man.
$2 target on KNC, but you might have to give it 3 months or less. You know, you never know. Crypto is ridiculous on how it accelerates.
Oh
It's just
man,
random.
only
But
100%, Mitch. Come on.
I know. Well, no,
This,
it's over
this,
100%. Two
bro.
bucks from here. It's 85 cents.
Well, that's.
I know what you mean though. I know what you mean.
I think that's something I find myself where I have some core positions in Fetch and Cardano from way back when, and it's like Fetch was almost a 10. Yeah, it is a 10, and then Cardano's like 3x, and I'm like, why can't Cardano be like Fetch? And I'm just like, yes, come on, really. We're getting to that point in the crypto cycle already where I'm not happy with a double, um, and I have to chill personally. It's the way I'm already feeling like that, and I was getting that way like three-quarters of the way through the last cycle. So um, that's sweet. Um,
Yeah, so you got Unibuy, you got KNC, and you got Big Time. Big Time to me
Big
is
time is the
like
one.
the holy grail. It's like it's a hyper version of your framework, in my opinion. Like you get the type 2 return, but then you get a third valley that's higher than the type 2. And it's back testing a high from October of 2023. It's confirming it as support. And it's just sitting there. I know it's up 5.63% today, but this is a trade setup that has hit its entry. It has not been stopped out. It is active. Anyone can buy this right now, and you have a high chance, high probability of doubling your money. And I just say that because the framework is so impeccable. It's like high coin. It's like literally high coin or OP coin. It just hasn't played out yet, and so it's like this literal platinum opportunity um, to be able to have to be able to manage your risk appropriately, but you're seeing, I think the most incredible like fractal, harmonic fractal setup ever. So I don't know if you it's kind of rare. You don't really ever see these type 2 returns. Then you rally and you make a third valley, and then that's the three rising valleys. So you have like Volkowski on the tail end of your harmonic completed. It just means more than before. But then like just the fact that it's like a spring back test from that first high ever, like when it got listed in 2023, October 2023. It's just to me, I'm waiting for 81 cents, a dollar, 119, and 145. Four targets on this asset. So
Wow. Yeah, I think that's
so stupid,
primed.
man.
Stupid primed.
This is the dumbest looking chart that exists. And then there's a Gaussian tool channel that I use sometimes. And then I just looked at it. And I mean, on the 12-hour, it's gone green. You're trading above it. On the daily, it's not green yet, but the price is currently trading above the Gaussian channel. I mean, the stage is just set, and I don't know. Like, I just feel like we're gonna come back, and it's gonna be like all I could do was scream at you, punch you in the face through your monitor, and say, "This is an opportunity. You can take it or leave it." But I don't want to hear anything when it hits a dollar.
Yeah, and you know what? Take that. That's where the experience comes through because these moments, these windows of opportunity, okay, they come. You got to identify them, track them down, and basically hit it. Get it while it's good, because it is the time. I mean, it just that's how it goes. That's where we are, and it's for whatever's to come a year from now or longer doesn't matter because you get through this kind of window, this time frame with stuff like this. Yeah, it's you come out the other end of it, living a different life. It's just the only way that I can describe it, and it's for crypto and the things that I've seen trading wise, um, whether it's just easy money or it's just that to me, one of the factors of why crypto is doing what it's doing is that the crypto asset itself, in a way, has taken away the kind of the IPO process where a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the early gains of IPOs would get hoarded up by and the Wall Street banks, the investment companies that were looking to raise the money, and then by the time the public got it, it was crumbs. So, one of the
Yeah.
reasons why you see this crazy valuation, this kind of valuation happens in private markets, in private equity markets, a hot issue or whatever, where an idea that's valued 100 million then becomes a $10 billion idea. Um, because the way crypto is the way it is. In my just a fundamental thought is that's why you get these kind of moves. So they are crazy, but if we understand the larger investment allocation process of what is truly happening here, that you're getting allocation of equity capital more than just some like IPO style stock, and that's why I think is a big portion of why you're able to see these moves. You can get in on things early, certainly a lot fairer process. And now on this cycle, I think you do have the Wall Street firms in on these S coin, T coins, as much as Bitcoin, because they know the dollar amount is can't be ignored anymore. Just the sheer
But the
dollar
beauty is
numbers.
it's global, and it's global though. So you had a global market, now you have Wall Street involved. So it's like, the meme of the two muscular arms, like they're shaking hands, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's kind of like that. Wall Street and global markets, like, and then crypto is in the middle. Like that's kind of where we are. I don't know. It's just like this is like the bots are programmed. And I think they're the bots, the composite man who programs the bots. They're painting these pictures. They're painting these structures from traditional markets, and that's why it's just history repeating itself, man. I think we're looking at big time, and we're just looking at OP from the past. We're just looking at Uniswap from the past. We're just looking at HBAR from the past. We're looking at um, HAI from the past, which is still going. It's unbelievable. It's at 10 cents right now, but the trade
what's
setup
that one?
entry
HAI.
HAI
You sent
hacking
that to
token,
me.
yeah.
You sent it to me
Yeah,
a
it was
couple
a
of weeks
trade
ago.
setup. Yeah, posted that setup like November 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever. It was the fractal, the big time fractal that like makes the harmonic framework even more insane with that third valley, that third higher low.
Wow, look at that price recovery range. That's
Yep, but it's just
KuCoin and
like,
Crypto.com. Those are on.
yeah, I've been trying to get on KuCoin, but the next target's like 18 cents, I mean, maybe 16 cents. Stupid. It broke 8.57 cents was the big resistance. That was like the second target of the trade setup. It's just wild how sentiment. So you like identify these structural developments, these harmonics, these type two returns, and the market sentiment is so like different when you identify them at those completion levels. And then like time goes by, and then it's like, of course it's gonna go to probably 18 cents now. But at the time, my God, the fear was there. Bitcoin was just flirting with 25K over and over and over all summer. And finally it started rallying some, but it had not broken any resistance. But then when it, starts running, and then it's like, oh, looking back, yeah, of course. But it's hard in the moment when you're identifying the type two returns of these harmonics, because that's normally the way it feels. It doesn't really feel great on the markets when they are maturing, when they're like completing.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt.
And then it's like, dang, I should have had a third target. But it's like, mother of God. I mean, an asset going up 370% in 120 days is insane.
Yeah, but
But high is identical to big time.
yeah,
Like,
ready to go.
yep. It's like the third valley is like the rule of three. After the third event, locally, resolution comes after that third valley, that third peak. And that's why I think big time is so unbelievable, because of that third valley where we are. But people won't believe it till it just blows up, and it's like it's not magic. It's just the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, we've got it. I mean, you're seeing it across the board, and it's a good thing. I'm just showing Binance Coin right now, and that looks that's broken out of clear
Oh yeah.
resistance where you're shooting the gap to 886 again. Um, and this is stuff that I didn't think would happen till after the halving, like April, May, but here we are, and I just you're gonna have to kind of bust in and hold on. I mean, it's
And B&B's, yep. I mean, it's kind of defying gravity now. It's
weren't you
$500.
weren't you talking about Dash?
Yeah, Dash was the harmonic framework was there, and now it's like a short term, like a normal everyday harmonic trade is completed. But again, this is probably a bigger deal. This is probably like a cycle reversing here. Like like aggressive targets were hit, like $39 to $40. A very real inflection point has been achieved, and that's a good profit taking level. If you entered off the type 2 return around $25, $27. But if the market participants are ever able to absorb the remaining supply, which looks like they're trying to, if they can ever break that $40 level, it is an easy ride up to $56, $64. And then, it could go to 100 after that. But like just one level at a time. And, I'll just send you, it was just legit identified in like early to mid October, or I'm sorry, early to mid February with the type 2 return. And then it blew up from there. It was like a perfect place to set an entry, a stop loss, and to take profits if you wanted to.
I sent you the
Just
weekly chart,
being,
which is
yeah. See, it's like much
right.
bigger of a deal than just the daily. Yeah.
Yeah, but this doesn't even look like it started yet.
No, nah, nope, not
There's,
even close.
there's a gazillion
Yeah,
things
it's a
there.
lower low double bottom too, which is great. You know what's going to happen on the lower low double bottom failure. It's going to outperform. I mean, it'll catch up to so many of these altcoins so fast. But again, $40 has to be broken. Then 56 and 64 is where there's going to be some supply. If they break that, then yeah, you're probably looking for a huge double up, like to $100. But at the same time, it's cool and all. But I just think right now, like literally right now, there are a select few that are impeccable and they're primed for upside like now, like soon. And DYDX has been one of those.
Yeah,
But
I'm
the other
tracking
ones
that
we were
one.
talking about earlier. Yeah,
Do
they're
you?
just waiting for $7. Just waiting,
There
telling
you go.
everyone. It's like you just own it and you own it and you wait until it hits $7 and you take some profit and then you say thank you.
Yeah, they had a couple of things. That's a
Wipe
lot.
out accumulation. Phase E.
Yeah, yep. That's there's a few of those. Um, Zcash comes to mind, and Zcash is now that thing is starting to do stuff, trying to get out of the hole here. Uh, yeah, I mean that's, and I just think you're notice how we hit crushing AI. The meme stocks had a few days there earlier in the week.
Good God. Yeah, even Bitcoin Cash. I was
Bitcoin
lucky on that.
Cash, Litecoin. Now these privacy coins are coming around. Bitcoin Cash is an interesting creature because it really is a lot like MicroStrategy and a Litecoin, where um, massive move, but then we go to the relative all-time history. It's like, wait, no,
Burger. Yeah.
that's a this thing's coming to life,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
that's
but that's like what. Yeah, that's like why the grayscale Bitcoin trusts are so enticing too.
yeah,
The legacy coins, yeah, they're just looking the way they are. Yeah, it hit that $500 level and pull back because that makes all the sense in the world. That's some TA respect right there. Because there's going to be supply. People are going to take profit on going up 70% in 2 days. Yes. But after that, if they pivot it eventually 640, good God, 640, 775, 1,000, then it just starts going crazy after that. So,
yeah, and I think there's a lot here where, um, because it languished for 2 years, it might have seemed like, oh, this is a dud, not doing anything. Well, now you've had a clear second higher low
mhm.
breakout thrust, and with possibility for doing minimum price recovery is still putting you like $600 with, let's just give crypto the credit of the doubt, where on this cycle then Bitcoin gets mainstreamed and this other Bitcoin group, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, etc., get greater exposure because of the ETFs and just a natural growth progression. It just to me in that case you have obvious these obvious prior peaks at 1500, 1400, and a lot of these reads, measurements, just lining up ranges and looking at the levels. It does remind me of MicroStrategy. It does remind me of a lot of the things that are now leading where we're like, well, hey, if this comes together X, Y, and Z, well, then D's all the way up here. And it just seems to be moving. Now the allocation's spreading out, and you're getting more of these to kind of pop up where and follow in suit. That's Bitcoin Cash. Yeah. So even a cycle Bitcoin Cash 886 from the last one, which wouldn't be much, is all the way at what 1500.
Yep. Yep. It would be. That's it. Yeah. It's just it's wild. You're just you got Bitcoin 100% retrace. You've got Ethereum nearing its 78% retrace. You've got Solana that is now exceeding its 50% retrace. XRP is set at 23% retrace. It's garbage. Yeah, and then right now you have Bitcoin Cash that is at it's just at its 23% retrace. And we're not even talking from all-time highs. I don't think it'll ever get there again. There was crazy scam stuff going on with Coinbase employees, and like it was arbitrage December 2017. That was a different world. So yeah, you would use the April 2021 high as your peak for Fibonacci. So yeah, like right. I mean, most of the altcoins are 23% retraces. The lot are like even the ones that are incredible and breaking out haven't even made 38% retraces yet. They're on their way and they're going to hit them. But that just gives you perspective using Fibonacci to know like where they are, and there's a lot of catch up they could do, but almost none of them are doing 100% retraces from the 2021 high like Bitcoin, like none. I mean, yeah, you got newer coins that exist after that blow off top that are at all time highs. That doesn't count. That's a different thing. We're talking about assets that existed, they boomed, they busted, and now they're retracing, and not many or almost none 100% retraces, like recoveries.
It's amazing. There's a bunch of these. There's things that are starting to move now. I've been looking for a lot of things that are doing exactly this. I mean, the like Zcash just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, looked like it was going to zero, was going to break the new lows, and then put in some
It did break
patterns.
new lows. Well, I guess it made the lowest lows of the entire downtrend. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Like the buyers defended $20, $21, and now it's on breakout watch. Like if they break 34 on Zcash,
yeah,
like easy 42, then 50.
yeah, and I mean, it would be a massive shakeout pattern, if you will. I mean, it's
Oh,
really,
big time.
really remarkable stuff, and that's again where
It could be
things like
Wyckoff accumulation. Certainly. June 12th was the selling climax. The automatic rally was June 28th. Secondary test was August 17th, and then top of the range December 7th, and then yeah, you're right. Like you have these failed bearish breakdowns January 8th and February 7th, and then the buyers recaptured, and that's like what happens. Now there was no spring back test, unfortunately, which would have been nice, but still, you are up against the top of that Wyckoff range, and I have an alert set up to where if I hear the beep, you're breaking out. And again, the upside potential above that level is 43% to 54%. So that's pretty nice.
yeah, yeah. Even if it does a 1618, which it very well. I mean, in this kind of environment, it makes sense for these things to do straight up, straight down moves. Right now, going straight up, and I again still so early. You look at this one. I mean, this is still theoretically like 90 plus 95% off the all-time high, and I think these also give us interesting, potent, powerful recovery opportunities. I mean, whatever that number is, and as crazy as it's 870. It's still got to consider it, I think with situations like this, you still let's stay conservative, take that prior high from 21 or even 22, and just do another simple 382 as well. And it doesn't even need to take that much of a move for this thing to be a big winner, a multi-bagger. What's the 382 off of just last the 2-year low to high is? Yeah, 382 is like $95 up there, 97. So a lot of these are remarkable. I mean, in a spot like a lot like Bitcoin when it was like 25 or 30, and it's like, wow, this thing is really in a great position. Doesn't need to do much to get to the next set of levels, and
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, you'll get like some of these high flyers, like the ones that are playing ball right now for the retraces, like File and H bar. Eventually, they'll keep going, and then they'll hit some key levels, and then buyers will take profit, and they will rotate those profits into things like Zcash and Dash, and the ones that have been lagging behind. Well, at least I think for just more money to make more money, and then eventually Bitcoin will flush and everything will reset. But that's okay. Many things will just make higher lows, and then we'll just start running again later. Hey,
yeah.
hey my I ordered some. I was like out of eggs, so my eggs
Okay.
just got delivered to my door. I'm gonna put them in my fridge. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it. No
All right.
worries.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, again, I think Mitch is all over it. Has been all over it. Um, and again, I come back to things like this MicroStrategy. When we were saying this down here at 300 on MicroStrategy, and we were down here saying, hey, this could do a 382 recovery minimum or 886 once it clears it. And that's what this has done. I mean, this has been, look at MicroStrategy now. All time 886. Tell me what's going on there. Gap up, gap through, close above on the weekly. And this is another one where you look at that and say, oh, 4x off the low. But then we go to the history, go longer term, zoom out what's possible, because if we're going to break out here, where could it go? Minimum 1618 off the low, and it's almost mimicking the Bitcoin price at this point. A lot of similarities in structure, but that 1618, it's $2,000, 2100. I mentioned this before. You go back all the way to the .com. This is what I mean by seemingly impossible ranges actually still being valid. This was the .com all-time peak. We said that before. Imagine owning a company that goes to 3,000 and then bottoms out at 13 or $20 and still wanting to run it. But yet, look what happens. 382 on the money for the last cycle to the dot. So what's going on here is a big bam breakout. I mean, it's amazing. But it's been spot on with the levels. And you do have a bat pattern. You're putting together, connect your dots, that this move currently, all right, if we pause, sure, a little bit here. Now that we're at, I mean, amazing 1200, but what's at stake? Shooting the gap up to the 886. Again, probably get 100 point, 200 point pullback. But this is what's happening longer term, weekly. Once you spring those targets, you draw it up like a magnet. Absolutely phenomenal action. I mean, again, it's only March. It's only March. So I'm just trying to find those that are on pullbacks. You guys know I've been saying those daily oversold levels and 4-hour patterns absolutely have been working. Let's look at one or two things that are still yet to move, or things that are setting up where they can go again. Maybe I might have missed it on that last little pullback, but here's Immutable X. It did this 4-hour pullback. Where was it? Immutable X. Yeah, there it is. did this crazy kind of crab pattern on a 4 hour. And that was the big flush. We got to watch this though, because if that was it, and then that big shakeout when Bitcoin got thumped for 10,000 and then came back, we got to look for these patterns. We got to watch these triggers, because that could have been a massive shakeout for the next leg. A couple others, things that have yet to move that are we've been in front of. We talked about Filecoin, ICP. How about H bar? Remember we looked at H bar a while back? Okay, now getting up there to 13. Remember H bar was a shark down here at $7. Now you're starting to get a move. That's looking good. Again, you go out, you zoom out here. What's the possibility? You got a lot going on. H bar looking good. Here's HNT daily. Here's a butterfly on HNT, but this is what I like. And actually, the bearish pattern helps, because we know that's a reaction. T1 goes on. HNT, folks, we're looking for the return phase. From 865, go back to 1165. Patterns that have yet to move. I really like Litecoin. And Litecoin, here it is with a bat pattern right off the low. Remember we were really just like pounding the table at 60 on that crab? Well, now you had a bat, and this might even be a better situation because you did the reaction to 80. That should be your floor. And I expect Litecoin to be trading back above 94, 95 really soon. Couple more. Where is hold on.
I'm back.
All right. Nice. I'm just going through things that are popping. Still patterns that are really have done some amazing things. Here's this Jasmy, another T coin special, but that was a fraction of a penny, half a penny. Now you're 2 cents. Will a lot of possibility for upside with the big thing, whether they have a pattern or not. I know you'll like this. The higher low phenomenon going on, where what happened back in January, February with a lot of these higher lows were put in. Now we're taking out whatever resistance was there. This on a lot of these, springing these for the first time across the board. And just a matter of time before they kind of flood back in. The other one I wanted to show that's definitely catching a bid was where's scale. Yeah, and I don't, 2 to 10 cents, great, but again, weekly range, you go out where it's just coming off of the base. So this is where it opens up a larger possibility for these to run. The big pattern, another one, synthetics, is just a monster with like your Uniswap. And where's the bat? There it is. So big bat pattern looking left here, where like a lot of them, we'll get there. We'll get to target one. Maybe it's October, or maybe it's June or something. But that's a beautiful setup. That's just a beautiful situation there with the possibility to go to target one. Pretty sweet.
Oh, that's like just an incredible upside. Yeah, like look at it. Oh my God, it's just about to break to its highest high. The trend has reversed. It is confirmed, and just to the next levels. Many like that. Yeah, SNX, yeah, broke the 444 level too. Next target's 550, 557. After that, 734 to 780. And then fireworks above 730s. That's the last level. You start going to like $13 plus. It's one at a time until there's no more. And like what just happened on SNX is on that volatility day for Bitcoin, another bullish back test of that key inflection point, which I think one of the most important levels on the SNX chart between 340 and 350. Just another test. They confirmed it as support again. So the test was It was a successful test, right? Not a failed test, a successful bullish back test. And now you're just looking primed for, again, multi-year high, or what was it? At least the highest high. Yeah, it would be close to multi-year highs. It might be like 23-month highs. Yeah, 550 looms on SNX. But then I think you look at Matic, and Matic's like a trade setup that still hasn't seen the third target yet, but is well on the way. It's at its closest point it's been since it started. But then you're thinking like on Matic, you're the 240s for an 886, way up there. So
Yeah, here's Matic. I got a weekly shark on Matic, and that's 170 minimum. But I hear you. I mean, you're in a spot where the continuation has just really begun. The interesting thing, though, the confirmation or recent confirmation on Matic of the secondary high at like 70 cents sets it off and doing another BAM style breakout, bad action magnet move, even off the low, where you're targeting, above a buck 20, buck 40 area.
160 is huge. It's a major inflection point. That's near the top of the harmonic that I just posted. It's again a trade setup that was posted in October of 2023. And yeah, 163, huge deal. If they ever break that, just pandemonium. I mean, just massive markup. Because that would be its own bad action magnet move. If you have a X, December 2021 would be X.
Yes.
B would be June 12th. XA, I'm sorry, A would be June 15th, and then XA B would be that 160 level. So that would be a high probability chance of 786 886.
Yep. Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of these where if you can connect dots like this off the last cycle high to low, be aware of that. That's what's happening here. You're into the CD leg of many M structures. Fourth of the five leg. We saw that in a lot of the AI stuff that really got going, and then these others are starting to pick up. Just lagging a little bit, but certainly there. You look at things like, I don't know, storage was one where that's just looks like it's starting to really gather steam.
Yeah,
Um,
it's above 75 cents is incredibly important. I mean, above 75 cents equals 92 cents, but I think the hard target, like, I think if you own storage on like the 3 day, you have a stop loss below like 67 cents now, and you let this thing ride to minimum 124, 125, and then your next target would be 186 to 194. Then after that, 274, 275. Yeah, storage is like extremely primed. You just made it through the liquidity grabs, talking about February 27th and March 4th. Uh, those, I guess, like I'm looking at the 3 day here. You just survived liquidity grabs, and now the buyers have successfully propped the price back above 75 cents, the inflection point. So this is where you take longs. If you were able to like scan through and you see like, oh look, the sellers tried and they clearly violated the level intraday, but then like when the daily closed, the price was trading above the key level. That's like that was a bearish test, and the bears failed, and the buyer succeeded in successfully defending a level. And those are like great times to long assets. So I think storage is primed. Shoot, man, I might even do a trade setup for my Patreon on this based on how it looks on the 3 day. It is set up for I think 125, 124,
that's a 3-day
125.
chart. Yeah, and that might even be a good one. 3-day time frame for that in between daily, weekly, especially when you get oversold, because that last ditch down 2 days ago
Mm-hmm.
did really satisfy a lot of shakeout for individual crypto that then exploded from that shakeout. So it just seems like what happened there was they were priming it, or it was primed, and they just threw it down, and it came right back up. I
The
wonder.
trend is reversed. Higher highs, higher lows now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just it. The trend is now your friend. And people were worried about like, oh my God, what's going to happen? But for so long, like when these things are bottoming out, you don't have a trend really established. But once the bottoming bases develop, mature, and then they start rallying off those lows after putting in some higher lows. Then you're like, okay, we actually have the trend on our side now, confirmed. And we haven't had that for so long in crypto. And it's just very good to see. We've got those consecutive higher highs, higher lows, and that's what dictates what a trend is. So, yeah, I think storage on the 3 day would be a good position trade, like owning it now, stop loss around 64, 65 cents. And then first target 124, second target 186. Then third target starts getting weird, maybe like a candle high close from April 2021 at like 284. Could play like that. But yeah, definitely these things just set up, man. Good God. Love it.
Yeah, I was showing that. I was showing this UMA. There's another one that's just kind of paused, and it's pausing above critical prior resistance, and then you got 4 hour shark pattern all around $4. Um, there's just so many of these that are, they're not all mooning, but there are the ones that aren't just seem to be printing ideal short-term patterns, oversold signals that give you nice continuation moves. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I know we were talking about this theta token where
Oh, it's already gone though.
yeah, look at the I'll send you on the weekly chart in a second, but this is another one that's, even though it's been crazy, looks like now it's getting going. And I'll send it to you that it's six was it 660 663 is target one off this massive bat pattern, but just another, we just have another example of patterns looking left, playing out, and just these are catching my eye left and right, where we can identify the patterns and then track these triggers. Pretty clear what the objectives are. I mean, I don't know if that's, you've seen that one in the past, but
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just your typical major all-time high to low Fibonacci retrace, right? Compare things to Bitcoin, and none of them have even really started. The smaller coins, right? Ethereum's obviously done well. Sol's doing its thing. BNB's trying to do its thing. XRP hasn't done crap, and then most of the altcoins haven't done crap in terms of Fibonacci retraces from all-time highs, the last cycle highs, whatever.
yeah, yep. I don't know. You look at the
Incredible thing.
new, you look at I've just been searching because I've spotted some of these new crypto that come out. I don't know, on Coinbase, mostly Coinbase. They seem to be doing that thing where mentioned earlier where they do the throwdown and then they come back. Well, let's show you this one here. Those came across recently is STRK. There you go. Where was this? Um, yeah, where'd you go? Was it STRK? Hold on.
I haven't looked at STRK. Is that
Nah,
Stork coin or something?
yeah, it's a new one. It's like a lot of these that are popping out. They're I think it's, probably even on a simpler level than the way I look at it is I'm looking for a pattern, but I think people are just looking for low price coins that come out on Coinbase and then jump them. What was the other one? Um, oh, it escapes me at the moment, but um, yeah, I'm trying to look for things that obviously have not mooned already, and things that maybe they did a moon and now they're doing a pullback, setting up for like that next level. Oh, I know what it was. It was this Ondo. You ever hear of that?
Nah.
ONDO. Ondo
Nah.
Finance. Yeah.
They're new and they're listed. I mean, it's like cool. I feel like I'm going to the slot machine though. I don't feel like I'm going to the poker table.
It was, there you go. It was, here is an example of it. It comes out, here it is, and then I'm looking for more of these, but then does a pattern after it comes out, and then it explodes. It's just it's a thought, of way to track maybe some of these new mainstream listings that have a little bit of time, then they form a pattern. That's I'll have to come back on this one, and maybe a couple of ideas of new things that have just popped out, but um, Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
look.
that's kind of like Cake and CRV when they got listed. They did do some pretty incredible stuff when they bottomed in 2020, but yeah, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's just there's just so many coins. It's like, I mean, how are you going to allocate all your capital? Like, you can't. It's just too much. It's like there are just too many, ones that have data that have existed that are set up for higher prices. That I'm allocated, and it's hard to like allocate more. Don't want to have too many positions.
Yeah, I think really more for trading, speculative kind of style moves than anything. Here is that CRV. We talked about CRV in the last stream, and it was literally right there
Yep,
at
it's king.
44. Just
It's the
beautiful.
king specimen. Yeah, it is up. Let's see, from the entry of the trade setup, which was like 51.8 cents, 51.9 cents. This asset is up 55 plus percent in like like 3 weeks, maybe less than 3 weeks,
Good
and
lesson
it
on.
broke.
Sorry, go
What's
ahead.
up? No, I was saying it's breaking the supply line with anchor points back from July 2022 and February 2023. It's attempting to break that. It broke it, confirmed with the candle close yesterday, and it's like working on the back test today.
Yeah, really strong out of this hole. I mean, it really is everything you want to see about something that wants to blow through the targets. This was you had a small bat, but you had other numbers preceding it. And, first stop at 54 straight through, 60 straight through. And now, if you go back and you'll see some of the other patterns that were outlining basically 50 cents, that this thing, and this is probably what we should be thinking here, that even though it's been kind of depressed and just in this hole, the fact that we're doing this, we printed these kind of patterns. Once we clear these levels, again, we have nothing but air. When we
88 cents,
get
the
above
big one.
here, yep, 88, and then you make progress above a buck or even more, then you're talking, you're multiple dollars. 375 to target one off of that bat pattern, or
Mhm. Which is
minimum,
crazy.
yeah, or minimum recovery level. Again, 382s or 236 is still 175, 180, 382 is
Yeah,
two
just
280.
140% upside, no big deal.
Yeah. I mean, in the most random of random situations. So, I think a lot of these are just so primed. I mean, just 4 weeks till the halving, and you got a lot of things like this. So, pick your patterns, get your pullbacks. I still say the 4 hour time frames, daily oversolds if you can get them, and just stick with it. It's I don't know. I mean, just so many have moved. Yeah, I think the ones though that here. Oh my God, you mentioned Phantom. That thing's popping right now. You guys must be
Oh
running
yeah, it
that.
broke out. It broke out a couple days ago.
Yeah, but I
Like
mean,
that level.
it's up like 5% since we started looking. I looked at that in the beginning of the
Oh God,
stream.
it's up 20. Yeah, it's on its way to 88 cents, which is the inflection point from February 2021. It's on just straight up, just doing what it did historically, running to
Amazing.
the next level. Yep, and then 95 cents, so they break that. And that's like, 96 cents is like the 236, the major 236, which is like nothing, shallow, super shallow. You pull back, maybe we get a back test, Bitcoin flushes or something. But dude, I don't know. If Bitcoin like doesn't flush, like it doesn't do what it did March 5th, I don't know how these altcoins really have major pullbacks, where they're like back testing old levels as support. Like, I mean, maybe they do, but
Well, this
I
is the
just
thing. I mean, it's a good to circle back here with this on Bitcoin, and really from a harmonic perspective, talk about this significance of a failure, and you're the perfect guy to bring this up to, because we came up with it last cycle. So 886 theory of what we've been thinking about all along. Give me a W pattern that gets me to a 1618. That's been kind of the general harmonic framework rationale if we're going to price discovery on Bitcoin, and it is, and all of that. So, we can check those boxes. What is going to be the pattern? And the thought now, having annihilated a 618 to 886 range for any kind of crab version. Also getting rejected right at the 1.0, no matter what, is, I'm not going to say guarantee, but structurally puts this in a 90+% possibility of leading to a 1618 extension on the weekly because it's so strong. Now, one of the thoughts that I had, and it was something that you and I, we spotted, we noticed, we did this for April Fools, of a canary pattern
Canary. Yeah.
where your B point's at like a 113 to a
Mm-hmm.
127. You push it through, then you get your pullback to max. I think it was we were joking about it, but then as we were like, hey, what about this number? And then we were like, yeah, actually, that's working a lot. I don't know if this is. I haven't spent enough time on this, but I think the 113, no matter what, is probably our short-term objective. They want to push it through the all-time high.
76.
Yeah, 75, 76. Then
And
then
psychological level too.
then you back it down a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you come for like a 236
a,
after that,
a
maybe.
236, and then if you remember, the Canary gave us a 2618 314. That it was. I mean, we're joking about it, but we're like, yeah, hey, look at that. It goes to 2618, which 2618 on Bitcoin, just so we know the level, is 155. A 314 is 183. All right, just where are the levels?
3618, 208,
3618, 208, and I'm more.
4236, 241.
I'm thinking 3618 of things that I've seen with the way stuff. You can go to a 3618 fairly reasonably, but can you sustain it? Not usually, not above. I mean, you get crazy once you get above a 3618, but 205. All right. I mean, 205 is not a. It's for a blow off move. Is we've seen it. We've seen. And if you go to the last cycle of what that move was, and that was off of patterns where at the very top it was a 3618 exactly, or almost exactly the first time. Second time failed, and you go back to the prior cycles, you've seen that as well, and then come back down. I mean, I don't want to be crazy, too far ahead of myself in terms of trying to make some kind of statement, but let's say if it's, I gotta even get it down. Let's say it's a 314, and let's say it's an extreme 314, like that. I call it 200, and then does another 80% or 786 or even a 618. Call it like be generous there. Wouldn't that wouldn't be outside the range of what has happened before. And I just think where you are, even though just taking the immediate segments and measurements, it has done the best of what we could ask of it. And we have precedent that, let's see where any kind of a nub of a B point can settle out, that then we could start talking 6-figure metrics here. But for right now, I'll focus on immediate high 69. What's the exact high that you have for Bitcoin all time?
$69,324.58.
That's about as exact as it can be. Crack that and then push to 75 now before the halving, like in the next month. You notice that some people have been saying there's a pause or a little correction right after the halving happens. I've seen that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, I've actually probably been, I have like been not on social media more than I have in a long time. I've been kind of just disconnected from it. Uh, just because, like, whatever, everyone's a genius, everyone has an opinion. It's like I'm just sticking with charts, and I don't want anyone trying to influence me on, like, what I'm thinking. Like, again, I'm letting the candles speak and everything, and I don't actually act like I know where anything's going next anyway. So if I don't act like I know where something's going next and I just apply the framework to manage risk appropriately, there's no real need to know kind of like anyone's opinion on where things are going next. But yeah, I'm sure people are saying all kinds of things for clicks and views and not providing value to their viewers, or maybe they think that, oh, hey, someone says 200K, so we're going to 200K. I'm subscribed to that guy and follow that guy. I don't really care. But what's kind of cool if we're talking about Fibonacci is something special happened last time when we were looking at Bitcoin from the November 2017 high to that January 2000 or sorry, the December 2018 low in log scale. The top of the entire cycle literally was the 1.618, not once but twice.
Yeah.
They never broke it, and that's where the bear market started. And if you do log scale Fibonacci and you want a 1618, it is
No.
$172,490. So
Really?
yeah, 170 in log scale. And so if history just repeated itself, that would be where maybe the
What's
price
the
would
the
top out again.
314 in log scales? Yeah, once. Yeah.
Oh, you don't even want to know, dude. It's like 3 million. It's 3,350,000 is the 3618. The 2618 is 759,000.
I like those
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying though. Like you didn't do that at all last cycle. You topped out of the 1618. So I'll let it go. If that's as crazy as I'll take it. 172, just to repeat history, and I think that would be like the only argument, which isn't really even an argument. It's just saying like, hey, if history repeats itself, this is what happens. But if not, I'm very cognizant and aware that history doesn't always repeat itself. With Fibonacci retraces and stuff, the harmonic framework is amazing though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man.
I think the targets, though, just in trying to eyeball this stuff to get just some kind of idea, because like last cycle had no clue. I mean, I really had no clue. 2018, really, I had no clue. Last cycle, I did have a clue, but 2018, and I was looking at things like, all right, well, this Bitcoin thing was, I don't know, where did I see that? Was it there? It was 2018. Yeah, it was that breakout really where that got my attention. Had no clue, but um, looking at it, and remember with the software, this caught my eye because there was a Gartley at that low. Interesting too that crypto does put in such nice patterns when they're there. But this was the thing I really, for me, in terms of what is true price discovery, you see stuff like that, and then you pause a little bit, but I don't think it takes much longer than an aggressive 1618 test to know that something larger is happening. Let me do it like this. And this is going to be how I'll look at it without making any. I'm not trying to jump ahead and say, oh, it's going to 200, whatever, 1,000. I want to stack the measurements one step at a time. But if I see this, and especially with the way we've gotten here, um, where did you get to? Where's my arrow? That this will be a sign of strength, a continuation beyond the 1618. So we get to 103. That's essentially the 103,000 level is the 1618 currently, and you sail on through. It's not going to take long. 105, 107 to know. All right, something much larger is unfolding here, and I think that's uh, the early indications of this really energetic environment. It is exactly what you would see leading up to it. I mean, it's again, I come back to where last year, especially, I've been like, this feels like the late '90s, and if it's the late '90s, it feels like 1997 with at least 2 more years to go. So that's the .com thing is that's it. That for me, that was the craziest cycle ever until what we've seen, and now like AI and crypto. Yeah,
Yep.
that's .com squared.
The exponential age, total market cap is approaching its highest high seen since the all-time high candle on the 4 hour a couple of days ago, and when it violently reversed. Yeah, totals above a resistance of 2.45 trillion. Bitcoin's above 67,554, which is the old daily candle high close.
It's
And I mean, above this level, 69K again. I mean, that's the target. I did step away from my computer for a second. I just have to, uh, like, I'm coming in clear, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. So I just have to prepare. I've got another workout today, so I've got to have my nutrients and all that. So just bear with me.
No worries. No, I actually I just started eating a heck of a lot more steak. I really have just been like needing to fuel my body properly. I'm done with the whole vegetarian style. It's been helpful. I've been trying to get my shoulder
welcome to
better.
the welcome to the light side, man.
Yeah, really. Welcome to the red meat side. I've been red meated,
Yeah, dude.
red
Dang, man.
pilled.
I mean, based on when we go eat dinner, I figured you were that anyway.
Yeah, I normally, well, no, not too much. I mean, I usually try to save the steak for for good. Now I'm just like, okay, every other day, I think I need to get a piece of
Shoot,
beefy.
dude. When I was doing my marathon stream, that 10-hour stream, that's what I ate. I mean, ordered that 20-ounce bone in New York strip with some mushrooms. Yeah, dude, chowed that down, then went like right back to being live. So I don't care what time of day it is. It's just, I don't know.
You
Like
see
to me,
Bitcoin making a run at
my favorite.
68 right now? This
67, 8.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
it's getting there. I mean, it's very close.
that thing is, and we had a couple things on an hourly chart. Check it out. I had a little crab here on the hourly, but I'm telling you, this thing breaks. You're breaking resistance already, and you break any of this at 68 or 69. Yeah, that's it. There's
But
really
yeah, there's not much.
ama-
Like, they tested all those 2021 highs yesterday and kind of failed for like 16 hours straight. And then you started pulling back, but then the sellers failed to go even test 64,920, the April 2021 high. So like a lack of supply and or too much demand. I mean, they actually did test it one time before running back up to 67,554, but that was when it was in the midst of that 16-hour test. And then again, they failed to break that. Then just now you're running, and um, there's literally nothing here until like at least 68,344, which is that 4 hour candle close from March 4th, and then all-time highs. So there's just not much left.
amazing. Yeah, this kind of action here, just even the last few days, the last so far this in March. I mean, it just got all the markings here of reaction down, resumption trend, and with the big targets, that the thing is that being here this fast, I really would just want to play for that breakout, where whatever the end result, net result of the halving is, the immediate effect with what we've done in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, just measuring, sticking with the measurements, is looking for that 1618. So I said 113 as the stop for now, but again, we blow through that too. The 1618 is then comes into play even sooner, and um, I'm amazed. I'm really amazed, and what really kind of clued me in on how aggressive this would be is once we took out 48.6, which seemed like forever ago. It was only 3 weeks ago, and the way you did that, it just set the stage for that larger run. And now, you'll take this out, but get a close, get one single close, one daily close, and then everyone's going to start talking about Bitcoin all-time new highs People are going to
Oh
flood.
God, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Price discovery, and you're talking about. We're not just talking about like an asset that is just, oh yeah, it's Nvidia or it's Google or Amazon or just what. No, this is an asset that is like never in human civilization have we had an asset with an inelastic supply with this much demand, and now the roof's been blown off with institutional demand, and now soon to be passive flow with mutual funds every 2 weeks. Every person who has a 401k will be indirectly putting money into a Bitcoin ETF, and they won't even know they're doing it. So that's what's crazy about all of this.
Yeah. Yeah, those are real dynamics. You didn't have that last time. And these dweebs that tried to fight it for as long as they did, that was it. I mean, the bad actors have been
Let's go, man
flushed
bun.
out.
No, man bun's still in, dude. He's still short.
I don't know. You said something about. I heard that guy. You said mention him before. I don't know who he is, but I don't know how anyone could be short, or even better. A lot of people. I remember it wasn't more than 2 or 3 months
These are
ago.
grifters, man. Grifters. People
It,
that aren't like actual traders that don't understand trends and uh, basic Fibonacci retracements. They don't understand. Like, there's a guy that has, I guess, like hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, and yeah, he's like a lol cow now. His legacy is he's a joke that should never be taken seriously. He has no integrity or track record of success. So, yeah, but like people watch him now because he's so bad. He's like a joke. But yeah, like he keeps initiating shorts. He's been doing it since 30K, and like he just talks about, oh, I'm just keep adding to my short. And it's like you could have just been long and made to 150% on your money instead of trying to be cute and wreck your followers, by the way, with stupidity, because there's no framework, right? There's no framework to adding shorts on bullish breakouts. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it, right? Like anytime we're initiating a position, it's normally with type 2 returns, confirmation lows, confirmation highs, with divergence on the oscillators on that second low. Normally the second low is testing, whether it's testing an inflection point from history, and you can see like a Japanese candlestick buying signal candle, right? Like those are many different things that have to occur for me to want to take a position. And this guy's just randomly going short for no reason. Like not even telling you why he's going short outside of a diagonal trend line. That's it, bro. One time's tested it. Let's go short.
yeah. Well, I want to let's give you guys a little reference here of um, essentially the same type of deal because people were talking about that with the dot com in the 90s, and it's kind of like this. I'm going to bring in a Nasdaq chart of let me get it in a good scale here, and just kind of walk people through what they should be thinking in the same regard because here we are. There you go. Nasdaq. Okay. Nasdaq index 1995. That's really where it started. 1995. And people were still for years had a hangover from the 87 crash even though things had fully recovered and people were starting to look at like say all right, it's overbought. This tech thing is crazy. This tech thing's crazy. And then we went through this kind of series of short-term retracements as we were into new highs, all-time new highs. And usually they were like 10% down really quick and then back up 8-10 weeks all the way. And so you got all the way to here and then 98. All right. There was a big scare in the market. And everyone's like, all right, that's it. That's the top right there. And a lot of people were saying, okay, we're going to short it. We're going to short against that high. And then it started its move, 98. And for like, I would say what was a better part of 18 months or so, the thing was fire and just took it out. And this is kind of like the Bitcoin phenomenon you want to think about. where even once we got that pullback move and you exploded through 1618 metrics like this, and it's something to consider because the reference point of this fundamental market being the 90s market being similar to what we're going through now is for one, when we can identify clear 1618 extensions, you go with it, you ride it, and so the only thing you need to do is hold the reins and ride it up to the 1618, and then see how it gets there. Because if we blow through these 1618s, you get these continuation moves, and a lot of times where it looks like this thing is done, overextended, and it just grinds higher and grinds higher. This reminds me, this is what Bitcoin's doing right now, grind higher, and then
Trend is your friend.
yeah, and then you get this kind of move. So you want to see a blow off. All right, that's okay. This is a blow off move from there to there. That was your blow off where you went up 50% in a 6-month time phase before any kind of inflection. So that's a similar type of character, nature we should be considering right now. And then once we get up to those extreme levels, yeah, that's when the public's not going to want to sell, and we'll be at 2618s or 314s. I'm like, all right, guys, that's about it. I mean, this is why we do what we do, is to really equate the measured levels into emotional energy to take action on it, to understand, like, okay, you're at your harmonic limit, and get back in, and you know, and here we go again. I mean, this is another even a longer term cycle with the current state of the Nasdaq. Where are we? Off of that 2000 crash, we're well above any kind of measured level. I mean, your 3618s. There's 2618, 314 was at 1500. 3618 is almost where you are now. That's pretty interesting. Your 3618 off of the .com crash on the Nasdaq Composite's like 17,000. You're getting up there. Okay, but it's just, think of it this way: that 20-year tech cycle, even with crazy crashes, corrections along the way, they were relatively short-lived. I think that's the similar situation that we have with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing a allocation move where you have a ways to go. Before I get out of here,
Yeah, you just don't know, man.
before we get out of here, we have to look at gold.
Yep. Boomers in the chat. Hi.
Yeah. Well,
Dude.
that's a great. You want gold. You want assets like this running. To see Bitcoin moving, because that means the underlying allocation phenomenon it's fully on. I mean, gold at all-time new highs. That is a big deal. That is a big deal with it.
1272.
Yeah.
2200. Yeah.
But that's also saying
it's
underlying something's going on. I haven't looked at DXY yet, but your 1272 there. I think this is a massive monthly ABCD on the monthly chart off of the 90s low. Minimum 2750, 2800 to complete.
The question is, that 2700. Okay, that would be for gold from where it is right now. That would be like 20+%. How much are some of these altcoins going to appreciate in value by the time gold gets to a 20% rally? So it's like, it's cool. This gold's doing that, but hey man, you're gold and you're safe. That's great. But for trading, you're probably wanting to look for higher multipliers, right? Lower market cap than 15 trillion or whatever it is.
It helps the dollar story, of like, let's get the dollar to just continue going lower, because if it does, then that's going to help. You and I think we talked about that last time too, of the fact that a lot of the asset inflation is because of dollar devaluation, and dollar sitting on a monthly. You got a bearish crab up here. It is a type 2. You're off of probably more clearly. It's just a big cycle 886 right, like right there. 114, 115. So, at the 382, which is around 97, 98, right there. Once you take out 98 on the dollar index, then yeah, that would seriously drive asset prices sky high, because look, this was from last year, or from 22, excuse me, and that's where the market bottomed. And so dollar fell from 112 back to roughly 102, and you got the move that we've seen in the markets. If dollar really rolls over and you start printing under 100, yeah, then that would be a phenomenal driver of Bitcoin and tech stocks in general.
DXY is just so inconsequential, though. I mean, who cares about like what they say, an aggregate of different currencies, right? Like that's what the DXY is. It's like the euro, the pound, the yen, all together. But it's purchasing power. It's the chart that there. It's not going to be. You can't like just type in, okay, purchasing power chart. Let's look at it on TradingView. I don't think there is one. Unless you just alt I, you invert the Bitcoin chart, because that's pretty much what it is. You invert the Nasdaq. You invert Nvidia, like that shows you U.S. dollar purchasing power.
Yeah,
Truly.
no doubt. I mean, it's more about the backdrop of looking for asset prices, Bitcoin, to do a bigger move with that kind of help behind it. Again, just reinforcements of the larger thesis of how things are going to move. Are they going to move big? I mean, gold, you're right about the fact, all right, only 20%, and your favorite T coin did that today, this morning. But the bigger picture of any other element coming in to kind of thwart this rally and take the wind out of the sails of this rally, well, you're looking at a chart like that, it only reinforces it. It reinforces that argument on a bigger scale.
100%.
I mean, it's impressive, man. It just is, to get cycles to line up like this, to get conditions where it's kind of a free-for-all, free internet money style market. It doesn't come along too often. I mean, once every several years, I would say, with crypto. All right, good, right on schedule. But
Yep.
that is a lot of times half the battle, is getting yourself in the right market where you can be a great trader, you can make money whenever, but uh, the easy money, making, with the larger potential, it's times like this.
Yeah, but it starts out where, again, like I was talking about earlier in the stream, where when you're identifying the framework for unbelievable, ungodly upside at the time, the sentiment is not really good. The sentiment's scary, trepidation. Oh man, it doesn't look like people are like calling for Bitcoin 15, 12K. And it's like harmonics are completing over 300 to 500 days. And it's like all you can do is have faith that the framework is there. It's real. The probability is high of a reversal at this point. The bottoming base is in, and you've got to take your long and be patient and wait. And then if you did do those things, your life's changed. You could probably quit your career job if you allocated properly enough at the pattern completion zones, the type 2s of a lot of these harmonic structures. So life changing.
Yeah, I agree with that. No doubt. I mean, that's I think why everyone's here. Everyone is here to get out on the other side of this with a changed life. Different set of rules. Do what you want, but have
Yeah,
your
a
things
lot of
taken
people
care of.
got ushered in. It's like every cycle, you have like a new freshman class of market participants, people, and a lot leave when the mania finally ends after a year, 18 months, and then they're gone. But then some stick around and they want to know the next time that this happens again, they want to be fully prepared, and they stick around and they invest in themselves and they learn this. And those are the people that are watching the streams in October and November. of last year. And those are the ones that made good money, if not life-changing money, very good money. But they knew, like from last cycle. And now the money is, flooding in. All the altcoins are going up 200, 500%. And new people are coming and they don't really understand, but you'll find some people that will want to believe and they want to be around for the next cycle. See, the thing is, the cycle is just beginning still. As you can see, there's still opportunity on some of these coins, but eventually there will be no more opportunity that really makes any sense. It will be the only thing you can do is trade continuations. Oh, okay, bullish back test, kind of a cute little confirmation low at the support like Filecoin, but no longer will you have the huge harmonics over 300 to 500 days anymore, because they're all just booming now. They're just accelerating and they're going to obscene levels. So yeah,
Yeah,
eventually
the
we'll top
waiting
out.
time is, yeah. I mean, you're over with waiting time and having to go through like just the struggle consolidation. And I do definitely agree with what you said earlier about having to shorten up your time frame and look for pullbacks, shorter term pullbacks, stuff like that, where um, you're looking for them at higher levels than something off of a weekly or daily base, even. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
man.
What's another one that's really these others that came to life in the last few weeks, like the graph, and I
Yeah,
think
GRT broke out.
yeah,
Big
H
breakout.
bar
Come
and
on.
Cartesi and
File.
File. Yeah, there's so many of these, but I still say we'll get plenty of opportunity. We'll just wait for these pullbacks. These next time you see Bitcoin down 10% again, you know what to do because that
Next
seems
time
to
you
be
see a
the
bullish
limit.
dragon pattern develop over the course of like a week or two or 3 weeks, that was it. Like it was dragon season, January 28th. It was dragon season. The bullish dragons had developed. They were breaking the supply line. There was bullish divergence on the 4 hour. There were setups. They were there. You were like I pinged everyone. I was live talking about dragons. Like they were there. And that was a bullish pattern in a newly established bullish trend. And you're looking for bullish patterns and bullish trends because they are more reliable even on lesser time scales. And if they are reliable, they oftentimes outperform. They can take you to the next fresh high of the whole new bull trend.
Yeah, check out
So they were
Link.
there.
Link had that last pullback from the Bitcoin thing shakeout. A lot of them did patterns like this. There's Link on a 4 hour. Really interesting stuff structurally that seems to have confirmed higher consolidation zones. I think Link is
Yep.
just a matter of time before that thing, does the next poke to
Look what
new.
they did.
Yeah,
The buyers, the buyers defended the old high from December 27th, 2023 as support once in February 2020 or February 23rd this year, and they just defended it for the second time. That is your confirmation low. If
yeah,
the confirmation low is correct, then you have a 20. I mean, I'm thinking $28 on Link from here. If they've just done what I think, like what I'm identifying, like it may be fake, but like you see it, it's one time and then two times. First time no one knows, second time everyone knows. So Chainlink buyers have confirmed the bottom, and it's probably about to run to its highest high of the entire bull trend because it's in an uptrend.
yeah. And this is one of those that everyone talks highly of this one, or narrative. This is like one of the best narrative that I've heard, and it's interesting because especially early on, I was always listening for the ones that people would talk about, use case, whatever. Like, okay, what are the ones people talking about? And I think this has got structurally everything you need except for just time. And your 382, I think there's 24 on this. Yeah, like 2350 on Link. So again, even price recovery of the last cycle on something like this, most people would think it's a no-brainer. Still higher, still places room to run here, minimum room to run.
Yeah, it's there's just good things going on with some of these coins. Chainlink, the Link Marines, man. It's trading above the 200 simple moving average on the 4 hour. After that second low, it's time, man. Like Link's gonna have its day. There's gonna be a day where, oh my God, Link's up 20%. I can't believe it. This is crazy. Just like Bitcoin Cash had a 70% day, and Pepe Coin and Shiba, these are gonna have those same type of days too. So,
Yeah, I agree with that.
oh,
Well, man,
Litecoin's going so
yeah, I see
33%.
that. I just saw someone put that in the chat, but that's popped. Yeah,
LTCN or LTCG. Oh, no, it's LTCN. That's the
yeah.
grayscale. I own some. I own like lottery because it's again, if it breaks that 22 level, it's gone. It's gonna go like who knows what it's gonna go to.
Yeah,
Pseudo price discovery.
that's a local chart, but I own some of that too. Disclosure, and I think you just gotta sit and wait. But yeah, that's like your G Soul. We were talking about that last month, and
Yep.
that thing's
Yep.
tripled.
Yeah.
All right,
IRA hack. It's so crazy.
exactly.
I just said I just had a reasonable amount of money into it too. I wasn't like irresponsible. It's just unreal when an asset like legit over doubles in value. It's just wow. Triples in value, yeah.
Let's see. I think this thing is you're gonna be doing a lot more long streams, marathon streams. That 10-hour stream you did last week was sick.
Probably, man. I wouldn't doubt it. I own some. Did you ever buy any big time? I own big time, man. Like I have that asset. I have more conviction on than any asset in the world right now. Big time for like immediate upside, for like immediately doubling in value, or let's just say from where it is right now, because it's kind of off where I bought from where the price is currently. There's 70% upside, like minimum, and we're just talking about the first target. 70% upside,
And that
107% upside, 150% upside, and then the fourth target, the exit, would be when it appreciates in value 200%. That's where I'm looking to exit after
yeah,
triple my money.
I think this one got on my radar because I was looking at the new listings for Coinbase, and then this popped up, and yeah, even if you did a 1618 up there, off of the pattern.
200%.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is the one for me. This is the one. So if you're watching, just you don't have to take action with me, but just watch and pay attention, and at least when it hits the first target, say, I believe it. I've converted to the harmonic framework. I understand. It is very real and increases your probability of a particular outcome in this situation. Is the probability is higher that we're going up next, not down.
Yeah, check out Axie Infinity too. There's another one where you zoom out AXS.
AGIX.
Well,
AXS.
AXS, but AGIX has been insane too. That was,
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely crazy. Triple the last month, something. I mean,
Oh yeah, it broke out. Oh my god, it ran straight to resistance, the all-time high, then broke it.
Yeah.
Who knows? There are going to be ones like this, and they're going to do things that defy gravity and make no sense, and you can't apply traditional technical analysis really to it. It just mania, straight lines.
Yeah.
Up.
Incredible. All right, man. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here, but I appreciate your time as always. Everybody, big shout, big thanks to Mitch Ray, please. And go over to Mitch Ray TA. Go catch him over at his nightly show. A lot of times, actually, during the day. And he goes live. Go hit subscribe over to his channel, please. But again, thanks, man. Really appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
And
thank you, everyone, for watching. Be sure to hit that like button, that bell, that sub up in here. If you're not sub to Scott Carney's channel, do it now.
Same with Mitch, too. Catch Mitch. He'll be on tonight. And
Indeed.
you even come
hopefully
up,
for a Hey song.
Yeah, we got to get that Hey song. I didn't mean to jinx you there. Mitch Ray TA right here, folks, on YouTube. And but yeah, I would save it for the official once we get it. Or are you gonna wait for the close?
No, I'm gonna Hey song gets played when you think that all-time highs are gonna get hit within 2 minutes 50 seconds. That's the length of that song, 251. So we wouldn't be playing the Hey song till Bitcoin's around 69,000. So you still got a ways to go.
We'll see. I think this rebound already looks like it's poised. I mean, now and maybe next few days, this weekend, who knows?
Yeah, I mean we're less than 2% from 69K right now, 1.88% off.
Crazy.
So it is within arm's reach.
Beautiful thing. All right, man. Well,
Hey,
you have
man.
a great day. Again, thanks for your time, everybody. Big thanks to Mitch. I'll catch Mitch next time. And
All right, thank you, Scott.
as always, brother, have a great one.
Yep. God bless.
You too. Take care. All right, folks. Great talk with Mitch, getting caught up on what we know, what's really about to come. I think as crazy as it is, acceleration, price discovery, at least for Bitcoin here. Can we break out and do the move now, or are we going to pause more? You guys know me. I'm always thinking that I want to be in those areas where things haven't fully really got going yet. So that could be a Litecoin Cash, or Bitcoin Cash, or a Litecoin. And then the other thing, let's hate to say it, but it's time to start looking at the meme coins. They did the big thrust move. Doge, what can that do? Seems like it's just the first thrust. All right, hitting resistance at 20. But let's see. I mean, I looked at that. I was looking at what was the other one? Pepe. I mean, it did an amazing move where, all right, I'm not a fan of this. I don't think it's great for investing, but it certainly is telling me that new money is flooding into these, where, all right, I'm not chasing it up here, but I'll look at Doge. I'll look at SHIB. I'll look at even green Satoshi coin for trade opportunities. There's SHIB. Okay, nothing there. I mean, although we had stuff down here at the low, we had patterns down there, but I just think it's a sign of the times, and there's plenty of opportunity even on something like this. I'll update you as things pop, but it just kind of shows us everything is spreading out. Allocation is moving into other assets, and this should get going really soon in a major way. So that's what I have for today, folks. I really wanted to get Mitch on here and, just kind of get caught up since so much has happened. It was only like a month ago. But we'll be back on Tuesday. So, again, get over to Harmonic Trader. Get with the software. Okay, the software we use with all the patterns available, just send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. And we're doing that webinar on the 21st. So we'll do a third installment crypto webinar. So join me. Anybody that subscribes, you sign up, you purchase the program. You can come to that. That's on the 21st at 10 a.m. All right? We'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, have a great weekend. Let's see if we can get Bitcoin to new highs over the weekend. But thanks again, folks. Have a great